Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah. In the previous video, I have explained to you how the historical context of how from behavioral psychology, Professor Muhammad Mahdi Jenkins, at that time when he was not a non-Muslim, the protege of B.F. Skinner, developed a model of inner speech based on free will of human beings. So the extrapolation from animal model to human model through operant conditioning or classical conditioning has to be upgraded towards the understanding of the inner nature of human being, and that is how we color our perception in this world. And our total paths learning history will comprise of the four levels of existence: the spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical level. And then our action or behavior, whether positive or negative, will color us not only of our existence in this dunya, but our existence beyond space and time, that is the alamul akhirah, in which we all are going to travel to. So this is where Islamic psychology is entirely different from all forms of psychology, even up to today. Why? Because if we look at this continuum, all right, you see that there are other forms of psychology, because post-behavior psychology. So where do we put, for example, we know that psychoanalytic, psychosocial personality theory is based on this nafsul hawaniyah. This is below this baseline. Where is behavioral psychology? Pure behavioral psychology is also here. So behavioral psychology is within the realm of this hawaniyah, because they use the animal model. We are talking about animal, and then we say animal equal, okay, animal equal human. All right, no free will. All right, the basis is no free will. So this behavior psychology is imperfect and incomplete, because you cannot extrapolate 100% from the animal model to become the human model. Even if you say that, okay, it is based on extrapolation, in which we are going to develop some sort of another level of understanding, then this whole idea of behavioral psychology, because it was so flawed, they have to develop another psychology. This is where those groups of people like Rollo May, Carl Rogers, Abraham Maslow, and their friends develop another psychology, which we call humanistic psychology. So where does humanistic psychology, what is humanistic psychology? They want to transform this idea of psychology of human being always in deficiency, human being rotten to the core. They want to see it more from the perspective of human existence. So they have accepted this idea that we have free will. So now we can understand that basically humanistic psychology is at the borderline here. If we say humanistic, where does it stay? Is here. So humanistic is here, because here it takes the idea that we are not just mere animal. We have nafsul ammara bisu. We have all the desires, the physical desires, all right, in terms of our desire for example, food, clothing, shelter, sex, and extension to our our physical environment, our social environment, the fulfillment of those aspects. But we also have this intra and interpersonal integration. So humanistic psychology see from the totality of human existence. So we are here. That means it is moving upward. You can see the continuum of psychology, and I'm going to explain to you how this continuum grows. So this is humanistic psychology. Now, after humanistic psychology, we have positive psychology. And positive psychology is by Martin Seligman. Martin Seligman says that basically, not only that we are humanistic, but we have a lot of positive values, world views that make us human, which is entirely different from the animal. So again, if we talk about positive psychology, it is somewhere here. Positive. So you can see that actually we are coming from the rotten to the core psychology. We are moving upwards. From here, we are moving upwards. All right. So our idea is that Islamic psychology is here. Why? Because we want to bring human being. Because nafsul ammara bisu and nafsul lawama is always in constant conflict. That means our nafs This is the evil prompting self and the self-reflective self. Self-reflective self. So we can consider positive psychology is also self-reflective in a way. So we can say that it's okay, maybe it's on this continuum somewhere here. All right? So from here you can see that there's one more level of integration that we Muslims will then carry this whole idea of psychology. And this is already happening within the field of therapies, which I explained to you later on how CBT developed, DBT, REMT, and whatever other therapies that is there. But what I'm saying is that we Muslims have this tradition of this nafsul ammara bisu, nafsul lawamah, and nafsul mutmainnah. It's all in the Quran, based on the Quran, and there's so many writings regarding the nature of our progression as human beings, from here to here to here, and this is where we achieve total integration. So when we say about human beings, we have this idea of cognitive dissonance, and I've explained to you the idea of spiritual dissonance. At this level, if you don't even consider your spiritual existence, you are not an integrated or a unified being. You are just component of human existence. So if you say that you're only physical, that's it. You only have the P and no S, E, and M, no spiritual, emotional, mental self, then you are fragmented. You are not whole. So the wholeness of your existence is not there. So you are just talking about animal, and animal needs, animal desire, animal fulfillment. So that is an integrated, that is a fragmented human being. A fragmented human being cannot achieve peace, happiness, or success in the true sense. So we have this idea. So the progression within psychology is we have to bring human being from amara to lawamah, and lawamah to mutmainnah, and then at this point then we have the full integration of our our S, E, M, P, and Jasad. So this four integration, this is where we call where Allah tells us at this level, when we are fully integrated into understanding our purpose and meaning in life, into understanding of how we can achieve happiness, peace, fulfillment, achievement, success, and so many other things, Allah calls upon this soul, this nafs that has perfected itself. Where Allah tells us in the Quran, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Ya ayatuhan nafsul mutmainnah irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan mardiyah fathulil fil ibad wathulil jannat. So Allah tells us, oh you, the completed soul, in peace and satisfaction, well-pleasing unto you, because you have integrated, you have perfected yourself, well-pleasing to Allah. Come you back, come you to my heaven. So this is where Allah tells us this possibility of this journey of transforming ourselves from the baser self to the self-reflective self, and to the self that is completely in harmony with God, with nature, with other human beings, with all creatures on earth. This is the perfected human being, where you don't have a dichotomy, where that means your spiritual self and your physical self and your existence of all your emotional self is all one. Okay, you have your S, E, M, and P all moving towards a unified personality, a total personality, a beautiful psychology based on the deen of Islam. So this is so beautiful. So when we talk about Islamic psychology, we have the perfect transcendent model, and inshallah you can see when I explain in the next video how actually the secular psychology, because at this level they are still circular. That means you are talking about atheistic psychology. From here to here, these are all atheists. Atheistic psychology, yeah? They are all atheists. They don't believe in God. But when you talk about self-reflective human being, you're talking about this mutmainnah, you are moving to the level of the psycho-spiritual. And this psycho-spiritual is in Islamic tradition, it is in Buddhist tradition, it is in Hindu tradition, it is in Confucianist tradition, it is in the traditions of the various people of all the world, because this is the intrinsic nature based on the covenant that Allah has imprinted in our spiritual DNA. So we have not only a physical DNA, we have our spiritual DNA that disintegration between ourselves, as long as we have not transcend towards this level, we will always be fragmented. And when we are in the state of fragmentation, we can never achieve peace. We can never achieve full happiness. Maybe temporary, but the full fulfillment of the divine nature imprinted into our spiritual self is always to ask, who am I? Why am I on this world? Where am I going to go after I die? And what are my future beyond space, beyond time, in the realities that is ordained by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah.